Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the On Deck podcast. I'll be your host, Roberto Pagliaro. This episode really isn't going to be too much baseball talk, but more of an introduction of what you can expect from this podcast, along with a little background about myself. I've been playing baseball for the last 15 years, but my post-secondary career consists of me playing at the Division III level at D'Youville College in 2019 to 2020, before transferring to Seneca College in the OCAA due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's where I spent my last 5 years playing. Outside of a couple years here and there in my baseball career, the majority of it has been spent being a two-way player, playing numerous positions on the infield, and more recently playing corner outfield, but the passion for me has always been on the mound. As someone who enjoys the sport so much, I have always found myself checking news around the league, word about rumors on a player or players signing or trades, and having an opinion on such topics. And I decided, hey, why not see if someone else out there has the same opinion as me, spark a conversation about it, and that gave me the idea to start this podcast. It's only been within the last 5 or 6 years that I've really began to follow the sport a lot more closely, with free agents and potentially where they sign, or trying to get familiar with minor league players and draft prospects. Also diving into baseball savant pages, and also trying to familiarize myself with all the advanced stats that are coming out in today's new age of baseball. So you might be asking, what will you be expecting from this podcast? And the answer is a bunch of things, actually. With the baseball season approaching in just a few weeks, and only a couple of free agents left to sign, we'll be going over those and what the future is for those specific teams that they have signed with, along with possible trades with spring training looming upon us in just a couple weeks, along with the Tokyo games for the Cubs and the Dodgers. So we'll be going over what teams look like with the season approaching, any standout players in spring training, also taking a deep dive on possible trades or preseason extensions that players have signed. We'll also be having guests on the podcast to talk about numerous topics, such as news around the league, getting their thoughts on their possible moves, along with getting to know our guests a little better, whether that be their baseball background and their journey throughout their baseball career, and what their future holds for them, maybe a fun couple questions at the end of each interview. With this being my first podcast, I want to know what you guys want to hear, and let me know in the comment section or sending me a DM on Instagram or X at the On Deck podcast with some ideas of what you want to hear. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to spark a conversation and have this be more of an interactive podcast. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say with both my opinions on moves and things going around the league, but also the opinions on my guests coming on the show. So I appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.